Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning to you. It is Wednesday. It is April 1st.
I want to give you a heads up right off the top that the mayor has asked for everyone to take a moment of silence at 9 o'clock this morning in respect and honor of the lives that have been lost to coronavirus.
As of this morning, 9 confirmed deaths here in our Bexar County area due to COVID-19.
So we will be joining and we encourage you to do that as well. But right now, we want to take a look at your rundown.
More Americans have now died from the coronavirus than were killed on 9/11.
More than 4,000 people have now lost their lives. Here's a map showing the states with the highest death tolls. More than 800 people died in the last 24 hours.
More than a dozen spring breakers apparently took a trip to Mexico and returned to Texas with the coronavirus. Austin health officials say 28 people from that trip tested positive.
50 ambulances. So you're going to start to see a lot of ambulances on the street that don't look like what you normally see.
250 ambulances, along with 500 EMT workers, have now arrived in Queens from across the country.
Port Loring mortuaries will allow live streaming of services and virtual grief support to help prevent gatherings of more than 10 people.
Small business owners can apply for loans this Friday, and the government will forgive parts of those loans that are used to cover the first 8 weeks of payroll if the business maintains its workforce.
The University Health System is working with UT Health San Antonio to study a drug that would stop the virus from making copies of itself. Bloomberg is reporting that pork belly prices are at their lowest level in more than 20 years. With restaurant businesses almost grinding to a halt, demand for bacon is significantly down. Spotify is hoping to help parents deal with bored kids with its Spotify Kids app. The new app includes playlists full of songs that can help kids stay healthy during the COVID-19 pandemic.
This is men's tennis champion Novak Djokovic getting his tennis fix using, a frying pan. He tweeted, "The competition never stops."
A little girl and her grandfather are doing some distance dancing. Kira and Marvin are doing these dance-offs every day. She's 6. He turns 81 this month.
And now, at the mayor's request, a 15-second moment of silence to remember those lives already lost due to COVID-19. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone in this time of this worldwide crisis. Coming up a little bit later in the newscast, we're all going to also update you on the markets. They have taken another dive today due to the new, or attributed possibly to the new dire warnings coming from the federal government about the rough times that are ahead in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
This is a very difficult time for all of us, but we are in it together, and just know that we are here with you and we stand by you, just with a little bit of distance.
That's right. Let's go now to meteorologist Justin Horn has an update. If I'd known it was going to be this cool last night, Justin, I would have left the windows wide open.
Oh, it was one of those mornings. We got down into the 50s and 40s here. This is all going to change. So this is sort of our last really comfortable morning, because moisture will be back by tomorrow, and so will rain chances. Temperatures right now 57 degrees at the airport, 56 Pleasanton, 54 Rock Springs. Still really nice out there. We are going to see a little bit of added cloud cover today, but temperatures will still manage to make it up close to 80, 79. The forecast high here in San Antonio. All right, let's talk pollen count now. It is in Oak, a little bit higher than it was yesterday, but still a lot lower than it had been in previous days. 5,720. I'm hoping that the rain that is in the forecast for Friday can wash more of this oak out of the air. Mold, mulberry, pecan, all in the low category this morning. Here's a look at the visible satellite picture. No rain to speak of, but we do have some more clouds trying to work in from the west. You'll notice just a little bit more cloud cover this afternoon. Temperatures, as we mentioned, up close to 80. We'll drop down into the 70s tonight. Rain chances return as early as tomorrow. We'll talk about that timing and the threat for some severe storms on Friday. We've got the latest there coming up in just a couple minutes. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. And look at that beautiful day out there as we take a look at very light traffic across the city out there by the airport. This is 281 at Loop 410 on the city's north side.
Top stories that we're following for you today. Local officials across the nation have been urging Americans to respond to the census questionnaires.
Yeah, believe it or not, today is actually National Census Day, and for weeks now, census documents have been sent out to Americans by mail. It is a requirement by law to answer the census by phone or mail. For those who don't, census workers are expected to go door to door at some point in the coming months.
Answering the census determines how many representatives in Congress each state will have, and it also affects how much federal money will go to local schools and infrastructure projects. For more information on the census, just go to KSAT.com.
Well, more than 40 people in San Antonio have survived their fight against coronavirus.
City officials say 21% of all cases, which is about 44 people, are considered fully recovered as of last night. Bexar County has reported a total of 207 positive cases since the start of the pandemic. So far, 9 people have died due to the virus. 154 remain ill, and more than 50 people have been hospitalized.
Latest case numbers released on the city's website every single evening. There you can also find more detailed information like age groups of cases, gender, and source of exposure. We also have all this information on our app and at KSAT.com.
Well, parents in Northeast ISD can now pick up meals without their children being present.
It's an effort to make it easier for kids to stay safe at home. Parents will need to show their child's birth certificate, a school report card. According to NEISD's website, the program open to all children, even if they don't attend school in that district.
Pickup times are every Monday through Friday from 11:30 in the morning to 1:30 in the afternoon. Just go to KSAT.com for participating locations.
If you are a first responder, work in the medical field, or provide essential services in the downtown area, first of all, thank you. And second, listen up. Mr. Ice Cream wants to say thanks by giving away 500 pints of their hand-packed ice cream.
The shop is located at 423 East Commerce Street, and they will be giving out the ice cream from 3 to 5 this afternoon. Pints will be pre-packed to go with lids, but they will not hand out plastic utensils or bags for health safety reasons.
Well, due to the precautions surrounding coronavirus, many businesses have had to shut down entirely, while others have evolved and even improved significantly.
The family-owned farm, Braun Farms Fresh Produce, is one that's seen an increase in business. Alicia Bedetta's live from Braun Farms in Seguin, where the top seller, eggs.
Eggs are the top seller, and this is 100% fresh grown produce by the family. And just take a look. This is a huge farm. They say the secret is in the soil, and that's rich blackland soil. The Brawny Farm is a 50-acre farm run by Julie and Jeffrey Brawny and their 4 children. They've actually been raising produce for about 12 years. They actually also have an online farmers market where you can sign up for a produce bag that'll be delivered to you every week or bi-weekly. And of course, we've talked about how the coronavirus has affected so many businesses, but it's actually helped boom their business. Right now, we're seeing Miss Julie. Good morning, Julie.
Hi.
Tell us about how this has impacted your business here.
So we've definitely seen an increase in the amount of people we've had come out to our farm stand, the amount of people that have ordered online, the amount of people that have subscribed to our monthly subscription where they get a seasonal bag. So it's been really good for us, and I hate to really say that because it's such a bad thing going on right now in the world, but we've definitely seen an increase in all of our sales across the board.
And then right now you see her children in the background. They're actually picking strawberries, as is Julie. But we talk about that hot item, eggs. That's something you're going to be selling today.
Eggs is a huge hot item right now. Unfortunately, we cannot keep enough eggs for the amount of people that are looking for them. We get calls every day. I have people driving out to my house every day, even the days that we aren't open, trying to find some eggs. So I wish I had more, but it's only what the chickens can produce.
Thank you, Julie, for being with us this morning. We'll stick around here at Brawny Farm. The farm stand is actually at the entrance. It's open every Wednesday, 1 to 6 p.m. But we'll be sticking around here. They're actually going to be cutting some broccoli later on. Reporting live, Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
Broccoli.
Yeah, and fresh eggs. Farm fresh eggs, you can't beat them.
No,
They
you can't
taste
beat
so
them.
much different than
Do you
what
think?
we get at the grocery store. Oh, yeah, totally different.
I think we should do a taste test.
I know, worlds of difference. Hey, we mentioned this earlier on the early edition of GMSA, and we have a few more details.
Again, a bunch of companies are stepping up to help you stay sane and keep the kids all entertained while they're all at home. So Hasbro created a new content marketing program targeted, of course, at families looking for things to do while home.
Yeah, we're talking about Hasbro, the toy company. If it doesn't ring a bell. The Bring Home the Fun website features games and activities for kids, as well as suggestions for projects that include Hasbro toys like Play-Doh crafts and trick shot challenges for Nerf blasters.
There are mindfulness videos and parenting articles about how to teach kids gratitude and purpose, including a video that actually features Hasbro employees many who are parents juggling working remotely and homeschooling their kids just like you.
That's right. A social media push includes hashtag Bring Home the Fun for parents to share their tips for at-home activities.
And Hasbro is also donating toys and money to charity Save the Children and No Kid Hungry to support children during this time of need.
That's right. Way to go. All right. So again, it's Hasbro and the website is bringhomethefun.com, I believe.
I love it.
Right now it is 9:08, 57 degrees, still ahead on GMSA at 9.
People sometimes blame things on their dog, but a man in Washington state took that to another level. How he blamed his dog for some really bad driving.
Okay, an Ohio woman offering a glimpse of hope during the pandemic. Her story of recovery from COVID-19 coming up later in our newscast.
And from retainers to masks, how a local orthodontist is stepping up and helping out our local healthcare workers on the front line. I'll explain after the break.
And let's take a look at stocks.
They're down sharply, 615 points at 21,303. Welcome back. It's 12 minutes after 9. In our country's fight against the coronavirus, supplies like face masks are seeing a huge demand by doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers.
But now a local orthodontist is stepping up and helping out by printing 3D masks to help our local hospitals.
Max Massey joins us live from Mission Orthodontics. So what do the masks look like, Max?
Well, guys, these are them right there. It is a 3D printed frame, and then you have a filter right on top. These are a little more complicated than I can explain. I'm joined here, Dr. Wilson. So, Doctor, right off the bat, how and why did you develop these?
It's a great question. You know, 3D printing is in my office every single day. Normally, we have patients here. Mid-morning, we'd be filled with patients. But today, and for the last few weeks, we're closed until the next maybe 6 weeks or so. So we have a 3D printed model, and this 3D printed model is used to help make retainers. So somebody that is getting their braces off will need retainers to hold their teeth. So we create retainers, and oh, by the way, I can reuse these over and over and over. So you're a teenager that loses their retainer, yeah, we can print and these models and create just an immense amount of these retainers that we need. So transition this to my office being closed. I don't do well sitting on the sidelines. My friends that are dentists and orthodontists, we're all on the sidelines right now, and so we had to come up with a way to help. We can't just pretend to be medical doctors and show up at the ER and help. So we say, okay, well, what's the need? The need is for masks. Masks are incredibly short supply, and we have these 3D printers perhaps in our office, perhaps with a local lab that we work with, and in my case, that's what it is with Quick Dental Prints. I had Quick Dental Prints begin to print these masks that were created by an orthodontic friend of mine in Georgia. And so here we are with this 3D printed frame, and we parlay that into creating just an unbelievable mask that can be used to protect our frontline healthcare workers. And although this is not currently FDA approved or to NIOSH standards, it certainly beats what the CDC says when it comes to wearing a scarf or a bandana as a last resort. Certainly, I would hope that physicians, nurses, auxiliary personnel on the front lines would be able to get their hands on something like this as opposed to wearing a bandana or a scarf.
All right, Doctor, thank you so much. And if you could hold that up and show the back. Guys, if you can see that there's molding around it, each one is actually customized to the face, and coming up at 9:30, we're going to go through the customization process, show you how it all works, and show you why it is so important. Mark, Leslie?
That is terrific. Please tell him from all of us, thank you for all that he's doing.
You read my mind, absolutely. All right, Max, we'll see you next half hour.
Right now we want to take you live outside with Live Cam. Talk about this beautiful day. We better enjoy this one, right?
Yes, because it all starts to change. We're going to get more rain in the forecast as we get towards the end of the week. And
I understand we have a hit on our hands. We're talking about this young meteorologist program thing.
Junior meteorologist.
Yeah.
And I was just writing down all the names because we're starting to get a long list here. So we're going to try to get all of them on. But we have a little bit of a repeat today. So you remember the twins from yesterday.
How could we forget?
Super adorable kids. Well, Lucas has one of his own forecasts. And by the way, we got another one coming up at 9:30. But take a listen to Lucas.
Okay.
Meteorologist Lucas, what is going to be the weather on this Wednesday?
Rainy.
Rainy. It's going to be a rainy day today. What do we need for rainy weather?
Rainbows and a puzzle. and a bolero and jump in puddles.
And we can jump in puddles, so it's okay to still go in our backyard?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, he is just so cute. I'm in love.
Incredible. And he's right about the umbrellas. We'll save them for tomorrow and Friday because we do have some rain in the forecast. But great job, Lucas. Again, we got another one coming up at 9:30, a long list of some kiddos coming up next few days and next week.
Fantastic.
Good, I love it.
Yeah, it just feels good in this time that we're going through to see that. Let's jump into the forecast and talk about earthquakes. Yesterday, up in Idaho, we got a pretty big earthquake, 6.5 magnitude. That is fairly strong, and that was up around Boise. That happened yesterday afternoon, and they're still seeing a few aftershocks. Good news, not a lot of reports of damage or anything like that, and that's what we like to hear. But to see a 6.5, that is fairly impressive. Meantime, back here, we've had a beautiful sunrise this morning. You see some of those mid-level clouds working through. 57 degrees. Current reading at the airport, dew point is at 49. Easterly winds at about 6 miles per hour. Visibility is good here in San Antonio, and temperatures are very comfortable. 52 degrees, Bernie Stage, 55 Bulverde, 57 New Braunfels, 60 in Castroville and around the area, 50s and 60s for the most part. 52 Fredericksburg, 59 Uvalde. Dew points are still really low. And the forecast for today takes us up to about 74 by 2 o'clock. We'll peak at 79 with partly cloudy skies, I think, later today. You will notice a few more high clouds drifting across the sky. And let's take a look at the dew points and humidity and how this will change. Feels pretty good out there right now. We're in the pleasant category with dew points in the 50s. But we'll fast forward now to later this afternoon, 6 o'clock. Dew points are starting to come up. We're starting to see some 60s on the map. That's back into the muggy territory. And by tomorrow morning, you will feel the humidity. In fact, I think we could see some patchy drizzle around the area, and the clouds will fill in. Tomorrow's going to be a cloudy day, and we could also see some showers and storms. Here's why. We've got a storm system up here across the Pacific Northwest, really in the Rocky Mountains now, and this is starting to dive south. This front will be here till Friday, but we'll get a dry line setting up tomorrow, some upper level energy moving through, so it's possible we could get a couple of isolated storms. But it is this front that is going to create the threat for some stronger storms on Friday. Look at the numbers behind it. 7 in Cut Bank, 31 in Boise this morning. So there is some cold air. That cold air will slide into Texas and clash with our warm, humid air that we'll have in place, and that's why thunderstorms are a decent bet as we get into Friday afternoon. Here's what the Futurecast is showing. Dry line tomorrow sets up. We'll have, again, a little bit of upper level energy moving through, so some isolated showers and storms are possible. And then here comes our front. This is Friday morning. We'll probably just start off with clouds, maybe a little bit of drizzle on Friday. But Friday afternoon, here comes the front, and we'll see those thunderstorms really build across the area. A couple of them could be strong to severe. Storm Protection Center has us in a slight risk for severe weather on Friday. On a scale of 1 to 2, or 1 to 5, I should say, we're talking about a 2 here. So it's still sort of a low-end risk, but we want to watch for some things like hail, some gusty winds, and maybe some flooding, too, as we get some pockets of heavier rain setting up with this storm system. So the forecast for tomorrow, 74, 30% chance of rain. 78 Friday, 60% chance of showers and storms. Probably just some light rain on Saturday, but cooler, 70. And then we'll get another chance for some storms on Sunday, Monday, and even into Tuesday. So a very active pattern after today, guys.
Thank you, Justin. We're just about 9:20, 57 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA at 9. There may not be many people on the streets of Wales in the UK, but that doesn't mean the streets are empty. David Sears is here to explain why these goats are roaming free after the break. Welcome back. It's 9:23. An old adversary coming through with some medical supplies for the United States, and a tornado touches down in Alabama, leaving destruction behind.
Plus, there are certain tricks you just can't teach a dog to do, and some goats taking advantage of empty streets. Good morning, David Sears.
Hey, David.
A bunch of animals running around.
I saw that.
Yeah, show that to you in just a second. Pretty interesting. Hey, the Russians are coming, and they are bringing equipment to help fight the spread of COVID-19 across the U.S. A plane from Russia expected to land today. It's loaded down with personal protection equipment, RPEs, and it's got some other supplies on board as well. The items the FDA says are good to go will be put into use right away. The Russian embassy says they would expect manufacturers in the U.S. to reciprocate and share with them if the need arises. No word from the president. if he agrees with that, although he has said he is prepared to help other countries like Italy and France and Spain if and when we have supplies to spare. This is the destruction left behind by a tornado that hit southern Alabama, Eufaula, just southeast of Montgomery, Alabama. About 20 homes were damaged. The odd thing, the tornado went down one side of the street, destroying homes, and then left the other side of the street pretty much untouched. With schools closed, high school senior Nate Hudson was home at the time.
This is our community and hometown. It's not like it's just somewhere. I mean, I know everybody. I know these people that live here and there and, you know, grown up with some of these people. It's just to see it all gone within 30 seconds. It's crazy.
There were no deaths or serious injuries from this particular tornado. Another tornado hit Alabama and one hit Mississippi yesterday as well. All right, let's take it to Washington State. There's a chase going on. The driver of the car going up to 109 miles an hour on the highway. 2 different times that driver hit another car, didn't stop after either one. At some point, he actually took a ride on a pedestrian bicycle trail. Troopers got some spike strips down on the road. That worked. The driver stopped, and oh boy, here's what the driver told police. He was trying to teach his dog how to drive. The dog was in the driver's seat. The man was steering.
Was he sober?
Well, the man was charged with reckless endangerment, hit and run, driving under the influence, and felony eluding. Police said the dog was very sweet little girl. She was taken to the shelter. Bond for the driver set at $8,500. Exactly.
Okay.
And apparently the goats didn't get the message about staying home and not roaming the streets. This is in Wales. The goats figured, hey, the streets are empty. We might as well take advantage of it. They actually live on a hill above the town and very seldom come down to visit. There's some history here, though. Those goats are from a long line of goats that were a gift from the Shah of Persia to Queen Victoria in the 19th century. She put them up on the hill, and they've been breeding and living there ever since. So
that's interesting.
And now they're down in the town doing free lawn care.
Well, you know, they're not doing their social distancing, though.
No, they're not.
I don't think the goats have to.
I guess not, but might
Get
well
your
take advantage of the streets being empty with everybody else.
Interesting.
I'm still teaching the dog to drive. Really?
He was in the passenger seat. The dog was in the driver's seat, and he was steering at 109 miles an hour. Go figure.
That just is, wow.
That's a head scratcher.
You know,
yeah.
One thing about this coronavirus thing is horrible, but the world keeps spinning.
Yeah, it does.
You know, there's still stuff going
There's
on.
still some bizarre stuff happening in it.
The world keeps
teaching
spinning.
your dog to drive. Okay.
As the world turns. Thank you, David Sears. Right now, we're at 9:26, 57 degrees. More ahead on GMSA at 9.
A woman in Ohio is giving people a little bit of hope this morning, how she was able to recover from the coronavirus despite having cystic fibrosis.
And this has triggered a fall in the markets again today. Officials at the White House warning people the worst of the pandemic yet to come. CNN's Whitney Wild joins us live to break down the very latest.
Some businesses have had to shut down. Meanwhile, others are booming. This morning on GMSA at 9:30, how one local farm in Seguin is doing their best to meet produce demands during the stay-home, work-safe orders. Mr. Jeffrey Brawny, good morning. How are you doing?
Just fine, ma'am. How are you?
Good, thank you. We're excited to be out here and learn about other options other than going to our grocery store. We can head over here. Today, y'all have a farm stand 1 to 7 p.m. What can we find out here, and why is it so important to be out here?
Right now, today at the farm stand is mostly our winter crops, leafy greens, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, some of our root crops, carrots, beets, onions, radishes. We only sell what we grow. We do not resell anything, so no, right now you're not going to find the tomatoes and the cucumbers. Those are just now being planted.
And this is all with your family, no employees?
Yes, we do not have any full-time employees at all. Every now and then we may have somebody that needs a little extra work that can come out and help us on a very small-scale part-time basis, but this is primarily all done by my family, my wife and kids and myself.
And you mentioned that this is a big blessing. Obviously, the country here in San Antonio, even, we're going through a hard time because of coronavirus. But you have a message for the public looking forward.
I know when HEB's and the other grocery stores' shelves were empty, people were able to come here and get food, get what they needed to get by. We really don't have the selection HEB does, but we did have food And the biggest thing is now that people have found us and they have been supporting us, and we're very thankful, but please don't forget about us once we go back to our daily lives. Once the coronavirus is over, we'll still be out here, still growing produce, still trying to supply food for people.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And again, there you have it. They hope that you come out here and check it out. And today, Wednesday, is your first chance. 1 to 7 p.m. They'll be out here. The address should be on your screen, as well as a phone number to contact here at Brawny Farms. They'll also be open this Saturday beginning at 10 a.m. Reporting live, Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
Alicia, thank you. 9:33, a lot of doctors like dentists and orthodontists have been forced to close up shop. So now local orthodontist is doing what he can to help out, like making face masks for healthcare workers on the front lines during the pandemic.
Super cool. Max Massey joins us live from Mission Orthodontics. And what is the process of making the masks look like?
Good morning, guys. Well, this is step one. It is a 3D printed frame, and from here, it actually gets customized. I'm going to start customizing it right here. We're joined here with Dr. Wilson. So, Doctor, why is it so important to customize them?
Well, this mask is incredibly rigid, and against everybody's face, it does not fit perfect, and that is the downfall. But the customization process, we're using materials that we normally have here in the dental office. This material happens to be a putty. It's nice and juicy right now, but as it sets up, it gets firm. And the nice part is it will stick to this mask, creating this custom fit for Max here as he goes into the hospital to take care of patients with the virus. Now, I don't recommend that, obviously, but this customization process is super, super important. So now we're going to fit this on his face, and this has to sit here for about, we'll say about 60 to 90 seconds. We're going to hold it nice and tight here. And as you can see, there's this molding. Sorry, I didn't mean to poke you. This fit right around the eyes, making sure that it fits perfectly. And eventually, we will only have air flowing through here and not coming out the side of the mask. How's that feel, Max?
It feels good. Now, you eventually do put a filter on top. Talk about the filter that you use.
That's right. The filter that we're using is a HEPA filter, and the HEPA filter is from a shop vac. Make sure it is HEPA approved, which is filtering 99.97% of the particles 0.3 microns or larger. An N95 mask, as a comparison, is only filtering out 95%. So this filter that we're utilizing is filtering many more particles. And it is the one part of this mask that is not reusable. So this framework is totally reusable, totally cleansable. You don't need to take it home and put it in your oven like they're recommending for the N95 masks. All you do is you change out the filter once we get this customization, this custom fit done.
Okay, and how many have you made so far? How many do you plan to make?
So right now we have delivered a handful to the local healthcare workers. And gosh, we can print about 4 to 5 of these per day. We're asking other people with 3D printers to be able to make them with us. Contact people that you know and that you love that are on the front lines and help donate these. That is the mission here.
All right. Do you think it's been a minute? Ooh. Let's see. We get this off. Boom. I'm set. A little bit. I think I still have some blue in my face. All right. Now, if anyone does want one of these intense masks, all they have to do is reach out via email. We have all that information right now on KSAT.com. Dr. Wilson, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that's all kinds of awesome. Doesn't it look
That
like a
was
Smurf
golden
sneezed
television.
on him?
What?
Doesn't it look like a Smurf sneezed on him right now?
Right on top of his nose.
Probably about 10 seconds early.
Did it hurt at all?
Hopefully you were able to just quickly.
No, we're good. No pain at all, actually. Super easy. And guys, as you saw, it only took about a minute.
Right. It was quick and easy. And I understand Max already had a whitening while he was in the chair.
I did think your teeth looked pretty white.
Yeah, this is so Max.
Nice job.
Thank you, Max. Let's go outside with live cam right now. There was that big smile. Outside with live cam, picture perfect day across South Texas. Almost makes you forget all the stuff we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, at least the weather is nice, right? We can get out and enjoy it. Yesterday evening was perfect for that. Today will be pretty nice too. Want to show you a picture too that is really, really beautiful. This is from Kathy on Seguin. This is Queen's Tears bromeliad. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. That looks really nice. Everything's blooming right now. It's just that time of year. We've got some rain on the way. So we're going to see a lot of green grass and a lot of green just around the city in general. 56 degrees Kerrville right now, 56 Bandera, 57 New Braunfels, 55 in Floresville, 59 down there in Pleasanton. A little bit of cloud cover. Here's what you need to know next couple days. Partly cloudy and nice today. Tomorrow morning we could see a little bit of drizzle, and then we'll watch for some isolated showers and storms during the afternoon. And then on Friday, we've got a threat for some stronger storms, especially during the afternoon and evening hours. Forecast for today does not include any rain. 79 degrees by the afternoon. Partly cloudy skies today. And we'll get more of a southeasterly breeze, which will start to bring in the moisture tonight. And we're going to talk more about that threat for some stronger storms and also look ahead to the weekend coming up here in just a couple minutes. Guys.
As we go outside with TransGuide right now, 410 and Jackson Keller. There may be fewer cars on the roads, but just a quick safety reminder out there. Watch your speed. Traffic is lighter, but law enforcement is still out writing tickets right now, and we're seeing still a significant number of high-speed crashes. People just their mind not on the road and thinking they have the highway all to themselves. But just be advised, be safe out there. Be a safe driver.
That's good advice. Well, this morning, a woman in Ohio is offering people a little bit of hope.
Even though she has cystic fibrosis, she recently recovered from COVID-19. Robin Petras has been battling CF and diabetes for years. A few weeks ago, she noticed she had a cough, which is not unusual for someone with CF. But she also had fever and felt fatigued. A few days later, she tested positive for coronavirus.
So when I got the call, I was so shocked that it was positive. I couldn't speak for a few moments. I immediately called my CF team, and they started meeting to put the protocol into place as to what I needed to do to care for myself.
Ever since her diagnosis, Petra started sharing her journey to recovery on social media. Until this week, she was able to share the good news. She has fully recovered. Now she says she hopes her story gives people hope, and it does.
There is hope, but it is also imperative that we stay at home and follow the directions given by our officials and our medical people.
Petra says she plans on staying home and away from other folks for at least the next 30 days. We hope she continues to be healthy and happy.
Oh, I love these stories of people recovering.
Every single day. We need them. 9:40 right now, 57 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
Should people wear a mask even if they're not sick? Health officials seem to be split about that answer. CNN's Whitney Wild breaks down the latest guidelines coming up next.
Officials at the White House are predicting the death toll from the coronavirus pandemic could exceed 100,000 people.
So far, more than 3,800 people have died, and those officials say the worst is yet to come. CNN's Whitney Wild joins us live from Washington with the latest on what government officials are now saying. Good morning, Whitney.
Good morning to you. Well, there's this growing question about whether or not the Trump administration should ask Americans to wear masks. And so there are two camps here. There's one camp that has been actively saying that the White House should not advise Americans to wear masks because there's a concern about the supply for first responders and other health professionals, and further that perhaps regular Americans don't know how to use these masks properly, and that it would give them a false sense of security when they should really be sticking to the social distancing guidelines. There is another camp, however, and it appears that this camp may be gaining some ground, who suggests that it is very important for Americans to wear masks because there's a chance that there is a growing number of people who are asymptomatic. So if those people also wore masks, then the transmission from people who otherwise appear healthy would be lessened, and that could help flatten this curve, Mark and Leslie.
All right, so let's talk about Obamacare. Some Democratic lawmakers have asked for the insurance exchanges to be reopened to help cover some of the uninsured. What's the status of that request?
So right now, the White House is saying that they are not going to reopen the Obamacare exchange. There are other states, though, who have reopened their own state exchanges that resemble the Obamacare exchange, but nationally, that is not being reopened. However, people who have lost their jobs can go to their state resources and discuss with professionals there how to get insurance now that they've lost their coverage via their jobs. Mark and Leslie.
All right, CNN's Whitney Wild joining us live from Washington, D.C. Whitney, stay safe. We'll talk with you very, very soon. Right now it's 9:45.
It's time to check in with Justin once again, find out about your forecast. It's middle of the week and it's a beautiful day.
It is, and we've got changes on the way. So this is sort of our last day where we're going to see the dry air, the sun, because clouds are really going to fill in tomorrow. Before we jump into the forecast, though, we got a two for today. I know we already showed a junior meteorologist, but we've got another one lined up.
Cuteness.
Take a listen.
What's happening? Oh my God! The weather here is super snowy if you look on the ground here. And there. What's for the forecast? It's really, really snowy. Snowy that you can catch the snow.
Oh my, she is a cutie.
And that was a bit of a throwback, right? But we all remember that day when we had some of those little pellets coming out of the sky. That was a lot of fun.
That was great. Oh, please keep them coming, everybody.
Yes, we love to see them. And as always, you can email me or send them through social media, and we'll try to show some of the kiddos, the junior meteorologists. All right, let's jump into the weather and show you what's going on outside. We've got mostly clear skies. At the airport, 57 degrees, dew point is at 49, easterly winds at about 6 miles per hour. And we're going to see a bit more cloud cover today. The satellite picture shows mostly clear skies here across Bexar County, but clouds will be thickening up just a bit. Some of those high clouds coming in from the west. Temperatures right now very comfortable. 56 degrees at Randolph, 57 New Braunfels, 54 Bernie Stage, 57 right now at Hondo, and some 60s down there. Still nice though. 60 Cotulla, 63 down there in Kennedy. Today's forecast, we should be into the mid-70s by 2 o'clock, upper 70s by 4 o'clock. We'll top out right around 79 probably. A few places, obviously. We'll get up close to 80 with partly cloudy conditions. And then the other side to all of this is the moisture. We've got low dew points right now. Feels really good out there, but the dew points are going to slowly increase. So this afternoon, they'll jump into the 50s, maybe upper 50s, mid-50s here around San Antonio, then upper 50s down to the south. Still okay, but by tomorrow morning, the dew points jump into the 60s. That's when we start to feel it. That's when it becomes a little bit muggy. That could lead to a little bit of drizzle tomorrow morning, depending on how quickly this moisture shoves back in here. But certainly by tomorrow afternoon, it is going to be fairly humid, and that could lead to some showers and storms. You see the increase in cloud cover coming in from the west. A few light returns out in West Texas, probably not reaching the ground, but just showing that we've got some energy coming in from the south and west. Here is our next cold front, and this one will make it to South Texas. Right now it's moving through the Rocky Mountains. We've got snow behind it. It is much colder in its wake. Temperatures single digits right now. Cut Bank, Montana, 7 degrees there. So that cooler air is going to work its way south into Texas. It will clash with that humid warm air that we're going to have in place by Friday, and that's why I think we could see some stronger storms, perhaps the threat for a couple of severe storms. So here's how the futurecast plays out. Today, nice, but tomorrow we'll get a dry line setting up. I don't know that that will really do too much for us, but we will get a little bit of upper level energy, so a couple of isolated showers and storms are possible. We could see some of that drizzle early as well. Friday, though, that frontal boundary starts to sink south. By 7 o'clock, starting to move into North Texas, and by the evening hours, it's here. So as it's moving in during the afternoon and evening, we'll see those storms sort of erupt, and a couple of them could be strong to severe. The setup is there for that to happen, and I think really the main threats are going to be some hail, some gusty winds, and maybe a little bit of localized flooding, depending on where some of those heavier cells set up. But the Storm Prediction Center does have us in a slight risk. So this area is shaded in yellow. On a scale of 1 to 5, we're talking about a 2 here. So it's fairly low end, but we do need to keep an eye on it. Again, hail, wind, some flooding would be the main threats. Tornado threat is a little bit lower. Forecasts for tomorrow, 74, 30% chance of rain. We'll call it cloudy. I think clouds will stick around through most of today, or of tomorrow, I should say. 78 Friday, 60% chance of showers and storms. Still a decent chance of some showers on Saturday. It'll be cooler. 60% chance of rain on Sunday. Even next week looks fairly active, at least to start. So it's going to be a pretty busy forecast here going forward. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. 10 till 57 degrees.
We're watching GMSA at 9, and we'll be right back.
We are going to take a quick look at the markets right now. Right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 2.34%, or down over 500 points at 21,403. This is due to the latest dire warnings come out of the administration right now that we have a rough 2 or 3 weeks ahead.
But it's actually recovered some, because it was down almost 800 points at one point, but still that's a significant drop.
Let's check this out. Students across the country wondering if they'll get a graduation ceremony this spring, but 2 students in Leesburg, Virginia are taking matters into their own hands.
Ariana Wright and Aiden Bullis are taking orders for and are delivering graduation yard signs that say class of 2020 seniors. All in this together without realizing they say it's bringing the community together.
Fantastic idea. Let's take a look at some more pictures of healthcare workers in and around the Alamo City metropolitan area. This is the team over at Lone Star 24-hour emergency room up in the beautiful city of New Braunfels.
And this is a group working the emergency room at Southwest General. Thank you so much for all your hard work during this difficult time. If you'd like to submit a picture of a healthcare worker in your life, just go to KSAT.com and search for Community Gallery.
Fair enough. Let's go outside with TransGuide. We've got a stalled vehicle right shoulder there at 410 and Jackson Keller area. Traffic is looking great in that area otherwise, and I don't see any accidents showing up on any of the TransGuide cameras on the monitors here in the studio.
Justin?
62 degrees right now. We'll see 79 this afternoon, partly cloudy. Much more cloud cover tomorrow with a 30% chance of some showers and storms. Best chance is going to be Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and into the day on Saturday. Could see some stronger storms Friday afternoon. We'll be keeping an eye on that.
We want to leave you with a smile on your face whenever we can, and boy, this is hilarious.
Yeah, boredom sparks creativity and perhaps genius. What's happening on Instagram, a challenge sparking hilarious submissions of painting reenactments.
And these are good, everybody. Take a look at some of these. They're so fun as we go through them. And this is what it says on here. If you can't go to a museum to see the art, be the art. As many people are cooped up in their homes, they're getting creative with how to pass the time.
I would give you the hashtag, but I don't understand it. It's something like Tussenkunst in quarantine challenging. I don't know. It sounds like Scandinavian dishware or something like that. But anyway, one of the ones that's most popular is the toilet paper art there at the very bottom. And I know we've got these screenshots here kind of scrolling back and forth, but
can we find the one with the fork on the head? That's in the towel. That one's hilarious.
We just had it up.
You had that one up?
It's scrolling the other way now, but
that's hilarious. Thank you for all your creativity. Between the TikTok dances that people are doing and now the museum art I just love creativity.
And again, I give you this hashtag, but it sounds like a Swedish meatball recipe, so we're not gonna.
Do it. Do your Swedish accent. Thanks for being with us, everybody.
Spot on.